Alexa and Efron, as soon as the world found out, really, about the very precise snatch and grab of Maduro at the hands of the American administration, they got on flights to Florida because that's where most of the Venezuelan expats are. And of course, the Cubans who are sort of in the sphere of the communist hell states of the Americas. And they're celebrating in the streets, and we wanted to make sure that we properly documented it because the Canadian media right now is consumed by rich, liberal, Western leftists who are angry at Trump for
Shameful.
grabbing this narco-terrorist. That picture right there, I made a joke over the weekend that's how my kids look when they're looking for stuff in the pantry. Just holding a water bottle with blinders on in sweatpants. Duro. Should we go into Alexa? It's a video. She's interviewing an Argentinian, a Doral city councilor. So Doral is the town near Miami where all the Venezuelans live. And Radio Canada, so that's the French language version of our state broadcaster over the weekend, pulled the old Trudeau eulogizing the Cuban dictator and called Maduro a man of the people. And so this is Rafael Pinheiro reacting to that.
So in the mainstream media in Canada, and especially in Quebec, there were headlines saying that Maduro is the man of the people, and I want to have your reaction to that.
Well, he might be the man of a few 10 or 20 people, but he's not. I mean, he's just a criminal. That's it. He's someone that from the first time he didn't deserve to be there. He just got there because of Chavez took power in 1999, and Maduro has been, just another criminal as part of that group. He has been involved in all this. He's a drug dealer. He has been involved in all these narco deals that has been taking place around nations, especially in Latin America. He's not the person that he was portraying to be. But let me tell you, there are worse people than him. The ones that steal in Venezuela, they're worse than him. Delcy Rodriguez, Diosdado Cabello, they're worse than Nicolas Maduro. So that's why we still have a lot of work to do. But Nicolas Maduro is going to pay the price of, again, killing people, kidnapping people, political prisoners, creating Venezuela, making Venezuela one of the countries, more poorest countries in the world. So how we're going to be, how you're going to say that he's the man of the people?
His last statement there, Sheila, says everything you need to know about Venezuela under Maduro, and it's one of the poorest countries in the world, certainly perhaps in the Western Hemisphere, with perhaps the exception of Haiti. But Venezuela, at the same time, has the largest known reserves of oil.
Yeah, largest proven. Yeah, yes. Largest proven.
There's absolutely no good or valid reason for them to be so poor. But that's what you have when you have a dictator. And I'm so glad Alexa and Efron went down to Florida to speak to Latino people that have some skin in the game. Because to your earlier point, Sheila, I couldn't believe going around the dial at some of the mainstream media outlets, these little impromptu protests outside U.S. consulates. And it's lily white liberals wearing Che Guevara T-shirts, talking in those terms. Oh, he was a man of the people, and how can we violate international law? These are, by the way, Sheila, I would bet my life would be the same people who say if Netanyahu touches down in Canada, immediately arrest him, right? So, and also, why don't we talk about, I don't think I have seen Trump derangement syndrome at this point. Isn't it amazing? And including from senior Democrats. And yet, Sheila, we should point out that the Biden-Harris administration put, what was it, a $25 million bounty on Maduro's head. Now, listen, I'm not naive. I know they had no intention on being serious about that, but nevertheless, it's on record that they condemn this guy as a dictator, as someone who stole an election, a murderer, a kidnapper, a narco-terrorist. But when it's Donald Trump that does something tangible to put an end to this, suddenly he's the man of the people, and Donald Trump is breaking international law. It's really something to see, isn't it?
You know, well, I just put it in the chat. We can bring up Andrew Coyne in a second. But the more on the Trump derangement stuff, because if there is, like, if you see somebody prattling on about international law and Trump's violating international law, just go back in their timeline, keyword search Venezuela or Maduro, and you'll see under the Biden-Harris administration, there's like, somebody's got to do something about Maduro. He's stealing elections. And so Trump's like, okay, fine, I will. And now they're freaking out because they don't like the guy who did it. It's like they are, as I told John Ivison today, they're siding with Maduro to own Trump. That's how little you care about the Venezuelan people. But, and we'll get to Andrew Coyne in a second, but I just wanted to point out something that I kind of noticed over the weekend watching this, and just with utter amazement at the precision. And now we know even more about how the plan shook out, like how they were able to distract the Venezuelan forces, override their state-of-the-art Chinese technology to just go in there, not kill a single civilian, and snatch Maduro out. The American military has had this might for a long time. They could have done this sort of stuff in Afghanistan. Biden wouldn't let them. This is what the American military is, what we saw over the weekend. But they have not been allowed to operate at maximum capacity and potential for a very long time. And what a shame on the Democrats that they didn't allow the American military to do what we saw in Venezuela, in Afghanistan in the past.
Oh, Sheila, I think it's even worse than what you're framing it as. I think the U.S. retreat from Afghanistan under Biden, that might be the most despicable day in the U.S. military's history. Not the fault of the U.S. military, but of the commander-in-chief at the time, leaving behind billions of dollars of American military equipment, thereby arming the Taliban, putting the Taliban on steroids, leaving behind translators, allies. That was despicable. Something you never would have seen if Trump would have been in the White House at the time.
Right. I just want to point out Andrew Coyne, one of the most ridiculous boiled potatoes on the Power and Politics panel. Becoming indistinguishable in his personal aesthetic to Chantal Hébert.
Oh, that's harsh.
It's mean to both of them, honestly. And look, I'm not winning any beauty pageants either, but at least I look like myself. Andrew Coyne, before and after suffering Trump derangement syndrome. Can we bring up this tweet from Ryan Garrettson? And again, just do this for yourself. It's an experiment. If you see somebody going on about international law and how Trump's breaking it, just go and keyword search Venezuela or Maduro and go back about 4 years and see what you find. This is Andrew Coyne. In 2024, okay, August, international action. What just happened? It's maybe the only avenue to force out Maduro, who over 11 years of authoritarian rule has overseen an economic implosion, diplomatic isolation, and the exodus of nearly 8 million Venezuelans. Okay, that's when Biden's in power. There it is. Explicitly aligning Conservative Party with Trump lawlessness. So he's calling for international action. Now he's saying what Trump did was lawless. because Polyev congratulated President Trump on successfully arresting the narco-terrorist socialist dictator Maduro, who should live out his days in prison. I think living out his days in prison would be a little bit too nice. I did like to see, I enjoyed seeing the perp walk when he was brought into the facility in New York. But yeah, and like Polyev's wife is a Venezuelan refugee.
Oh, what does she know, Sheila?
Well, I know. What does she know? Andrew Coyne knows it all from his Laurentian perch somewhere.
You know,
gargoyle.
You've just made the case. This is all about Trump derangement syndrome, because Andrew Coyne has been proven to be a fraud, going back less than 2 years ago to what he said then and what he's saying now. And what's the defining part here? It's President Donald Trump. You know, Sheila, they could cast President Trump as Dorothy in a remake of The Wizard of Oz, and the left would lose their marbles at the scene where the Wicked Witch of the West is melted by a bucket of water. Why did he do that? He's violated international mythical law, right?
We don't have to look that far. I was going to say, if Trump cured cancer, the people would be going out there and getting cancer to own Trump. But he literally, his administration uncovered why all the young people have autism and then offered a solution to that autism. And what you have is people taking Tylenol to give their babies autism. Like, this is the derangement of these people.